Hey DIYers, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Allie from Whimsybox.
Welcome to DIY 5, where we count down 5 of our favorite DIY projects from the week, tell you what's going on around here, and share some other silly stuff. Ready to get to it?
Let's do it. This DIY camera strap from the blog Sweet Sugar Rush. It's a combination of fashion and function. Trade out your standard camera strap for a prettier version using a lightweight scarf. So most photogs, whether they're amateur or pro, they carry their camera around wherever they go. Like Dr. Seuss.
That rhymes.
So with this transformation, your camera will look less like a clunky gadget, and it's more of an accessory, which is nice.
Perfect for festival season,
Yeah.
too, the scarf. Well, it's still plenty warm around here, especially in here. But as the evenings start cooling down, it's my favorite time of year, blanket season.
Yes.
I'm such a blanket baby. I've got like a few in every room of my house. And Tell Love and Chocolate created this DIY tassel throw by dressing up a super simple and actually kind of boring IKEA blanket using some bright pink yarn and simple stitches and then some tassels.
Nice.
By the way, I just got my newest IKEA catalog in the mail. Did you get one? Do you get it?
I didn't, but I was over at our friend's house the other day. And
I could
was
look
like,
at it
"Ooh, IKEA."
forever. It's like a magazine, basically. I want all of it.
Yeah. Well, I was immediately drawn to these paper mache cacti from Design Sponge. I love the addition of greenery in any space, and these are both no maintenance and a bit of a conversation piece as well. So paper mache is a traditional craft medium that allows you to cover a rough form, creating a textured finish, and with the addition of some paint, you have a fun faux cactus garden.
I have not paper mached anything in a very long time.
I know.
I think it's time.
Yeah.
This project is the simplest ever, but I totally loved it, so I wanted to share it here. I'm kind of a minimalist at heart, and this DIY hanging mirror is made with literally just some cord and a mirror. It's like the easiest thing you could ever
Simple.
make. It comes from the Dutch fashion and design blog My Dubio. That's how I want to say it. I don't know. And it couldn't be simpler, but I think it makes sort of a big statement.
Yeah, it's nice and functional too. Dang it. These disco ball place card holders from Oh So Beautiful Paper are a fun addition to any dinner party tablescape. The little sparkle at each seat. So the addition of a small succulent like inside the disco ball,
Oh, cute.
it means your guests go home with a personalized party favor.
What
I
a
just
fun
think
idea.
they're fun.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Well, this week's featured influencer is Mish from the blog Right Where I Left Off. Mish is a California native with a penchant for travel and adventure. She's a consummate refashionista. She's always improving on pieces that she finds with a touch of flair. Make it personal. The name of her blog stems from the idea that our creative endeavors are often put on the back burner when life gets in the way. So Mish's blog documents her attempts to keep her creative irons in the fire. She's always returning to those projects right where she left off.
I love that idea. It's
Thanks,
part of what made me want to start Whimsybox, because I was busy working, regular job and just wasn't making time to do creative stuff.
Yeah.
So, very cool. I agree, Mish. Let's see, as always, you can find the links to each of these projects and Mish's blog, of course, in the show notes below, and tons of other great DIY ideas to help you stop pinning and start making on our site at whimsybox.com. And I thought it would be a good time to remind you and point out, did you know you can post and share your DIYs on Whimsybox? You totally can. It's super easy, and we love to see what you're making. And you might even find one of your projects featured right here on DIY 5. It's basically worldwide fame and fortune. Just go to whimsybox.com. You click the plus sign in the top right corner once you're logged in, and you can add a project.
It is. It's super simple. Picture, project, little word.
Yeah, you can link to your blog
Description.
if you want to
Yeah.
send some traffic your way. We'd love to do that as well. So, yeah, it's really,
It's super simple.
really very easy.
It's fun.
So, let's see. Let's dive into the latest Whimsybox, shall
Okay,
we?
let's do
I
it.
have it right here.
I love it.
We've been seeing lots of Instagrams pop up. Maybe we'll share some next week.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, first of all, the colors,
Yeah,
right
they're
when you
pretty.
open it up, are so pretty.
It's like a coral color. It might read as
Coral
red.
with this really beautiful art. Flamingos, we've been talking, flamingos are hot. So this is called Pink Flamingo Love by Mallory Kozlowski. And a little blurb about her. Her shop is landofpines.etsy.com, so you can check out more of her art. She is coming to us straight from a little bungalow by the beach in New Jersey. That sounds delightful.
Yes.
And her art is full of vibrant colors and powerful words. She enjoys creative pursuits and designing art that inspires smiles, happiness, and fun. What a sweet sentiment.
It is fun.
So, inside, what do we have? Faux agate jewelry. So here, why don't you hold that and I'll dive in.
This is a fun one.
This is a fun
I
one.
enjoyed doing
If
it.
you, whether or not, so we had 2 color combos. There's either the purple and white that you can see on the card, or like a gold and white combo.
And
which
the
is in
white
this book.
actually is a little bit pearlescent, like has a little shimmer to it on the metallics. one.
Right, on the metallics. So it's to make a really cool faux agate, both pendant and earrings. So we have Sculpey clay, some glass glitter, careful, that's sharp, a silver snake chain, a glue-on bail, some earring posts, a 4-inch razor blade that's super sharp. You'll know because it says sharp. And some great glue. This is a glue you might not have tried before because it's pretty new. And it's called ProBond Advanced from Elmer's. And Elmer's actually provided this, so thanks Elmer's. It is designed, I don't know how to hold it. It is designed to adhere a non-porous surface to a porous surface. So that's perfect for us in this project because the metal bail, here are the
Non-porous.
jewelry, metal, non-porous, and polymer clay, porous, nice, little bit of porousness, and you can attach those 2 together. So, and I love it. It's like a perfect sized amount of glue, and then it has a helpful little chart on here that says like if it's good for this application or great for this application, and you can match up the different materials.
Nice.
So traditionally used in, well, since it came out, which is pretty new, in sort of like bigger home improvement type things, like you wanted to glue a mirror to like wood or something, like giant.
Okay.
Also good for little handy projects as well.
It's a perfect size.
Check it out.
And this was fun too. The technique of marbling the polymer clay was really cool. And then it's oven baked, so you just like throw it in the oven for a little bit, and
Pop
it's
it in the
ready
oven
to
and
go.
wear it. It's been fun seeing the different versions of the project come out. You can make, sort of a really big pendant if you like sort of a giant bold necklace, or a smaller one if you're a little more dainty with your jewelry.
And we gave him some, not only the necklace with the bail, but we gave him some earring backs too, so you can make studs. I'm a stud girl.
Yeah,
I
a whole
like
matching
small.
set.
Yeah, so you can have a set. It's a lot of fun, and the glass glitter kind of gives that like geode effect to the polymer clay. So you've got like the marbling of the clay plus the glass glitter with the little.
Yeah, it's super sparkly.
Yeah, it's
Kind of
really cool.
Get hands on.
So this is a fun one, and people
Yeah,
have really liked
and you're
it.
gonna have tons of clay left over, so you could make more jewelry for your friends and family, or try it out a couple times and use the one you like best or whatever.
Yeah.
There's tons of clay here, so
And the nice thing about the Sculpey clay is you can store it easy. Like it doesn't
so Sculpey
dry out.
Yeah, it's not like water based, so you don't even. I wrap it up to keep it from getting on anything else. And you do want to protect your surface when you use Sculpey because since it's oil based, it could, you wouldn't want to put it on your nice dining room table. But you can save it and use it in a year or 2. I have some Sculpey that's like years old.
Yeah, and you just have to condition the clay when you use it, so you kind of work it. It's kind
Warm
of
it up.
therapeutic.
Put it in your pocket maybe for 5-10 minutes before you get started,
But it's
and then
fun.
you use these muscles.
Yeah, so this was a great one, and we've had some great feedback about it. So.
Yeah, so it's in the shop now. If you missed out, you can go grab one. Or I also recommend that you sign up before we send out the next month's boxes, which you can do at whimsybox.com/subscription, because you're not going to want to miss that project either. I'm looking at it. It's right there.
Off in the distance.
But you can't see it.
Secret.
Okay, so silly stuff. Last week was a cluster. There was a lot going on. But last week we were going to talk about this, but then we didn't get to it.
Yes. This has been something that's been talked about a lot here in the office.
I have a new favorite TV show. It's called Naked and Afraid. Did you watch it?
No.
Ah!
I know. But I've heard so much about it, I have lots of opinions anyway.
Basically, not only is there Naked Afraid now, which sort of makes sense because, okay, so here's the concept. 2 people, a man and a woman, are placed in some deserted, crazy survival location for 21 days. They're naked.
And afraid.
And afraid. And they have like one survival item each. So it's usually like some kind of weapon, like a machete or a knife or whatever. And then usually a fire starter, sometimes something else, like a pot. Or one time a guy picked goggles, but then he was scared of the ocean, so that was dumb. But it's crazy because, so it's a little bit like sensationalist because they're naked and you're like, oh, naked people, like they blur out anything crazy, of course. But really, it's like just makes it harder. They don't have shoes. They're walking on thorns. They're walking
it's
miles.
True wilderness, like rough. Like,
yeah, they have like no food. They have to find
sunburn,
crazy sunburns, especially on one episode.
Yikes!
But it's sort of cool because they have to really, I would say, embrace their DIY spirit.
Yeah.
So sometimes they weave their own clothes. I mean, they build shelter, obviously.
Yeah, there's like priorities, right? Like number one, water.
Usually water.
Like food. No,
Usually
shelter.
Water, shelter. Then usually fire.
Oh, okay. Because you have to
Then usually food.
boil water.
Yeah, sometimes they drink the water without boiling it. I don't know. It's not always
That's
clear.
a recipe
They're
for
there
disaster.
for 21 days. The show is an hour long. There's like lots of parts that you kind of miss. But yeah.
And then there's the whole like gender dynamic too, where it's like, right?
Usually they have like the awkward meeting in the beginning and they'll be like, ooh, like, hope they're not seeking love. Or sometimes they'll be like, ooh, I hope she's hot. And it's like,
Like, forget about that. Give me some water.
you're going to be miserable for like the next 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
why don't you hope that she like knows how to hunt or something like more important
Yeah.
than that.
That's a cool concept, though.
I actually enjoy watching the show. At first I thought it was sort of hokey, but now I think I've watched all of them. I've recorded all of them. But it has spawned, I believe, other naked shows, which is crazy because now VH1 has Dating Naked, which I watched last night for the first time, just for research purposes. And then there's also a naked real estate show, like naked home buying. I don't know the name of that one, but that exists too. Michelle's giving us this look. She's like, no.
No.
So the Dating Naked one is like really stupid.
Yeah.
It's like a VH1 dating show, and
Yuck.
they go on naked dates, which is weird. And then they drink a lot, usually. That
Yeah.
one's pretty bad. I mean, at least with Naked and Afraid, like, there's a survival aspect to being naked. Like, because otherwise they could, like, use their clothes for all sorts of purposes.
Right. So maybe that's like the whole Garden of Eden thing, like Adam and Eve, there they were, like naked and afraid, and look at what happened.
Start from scratch.
Yep.
So that made me think.
No, if you're going DIY 5 naked, I'm afraid.
Not DIY 5, but what if there was like a naked crafting show?
Oh
I have
my
these
gosh.
ideas around like a funny sketch we could do. Not naked. We'd have to like buy flesh-colored bodysuits or something, and then
That's
teach
funny.
Elisa how to blur us out.
Right.
Strategically, and you're sort of like,
Nobody wants to.
I brought my glue gun. What did you bring?
Oh
and
my
you could have
gosh.
your craft item, and then we could
Go out into the wilderness and see what we can do.
just saying.
There's this funny thing in Boulder that happens it used to happen every Halloween, and it was the Naked Pumpkin Run.
Pumpkin run.
And basically everybody, it was like a clandestine thing, right? So nobody knew where the naked runners were coming from, but they would all eventually like make their way down the Pearl Street Mall. And they're running and they're totally naked, except they've carved a jack-o'-lantern and they have a jack-o'-lantern on their head. So it was funny, right? Like you can't tell who these people are because there's a pumpkin on their head. But the authorities, they nixed that. They said, no, we don't want a bunch of naked people running around.
With
So
pumpkins on their head.
one year they were actually like apprehending people at the end of this run and arresting them, and how awful would that be? But yeah, so they said no more naked pumpkin run, and then the year after they ended it, it was Halloween, and Halloween on Pearl Street is like people
big
watching galore.
festival.
Everybody's dressed up, and there were these people who just did like flesh-colored like leotards and bodysuits, but then they like painted on like the anatomical parts. So like here they come, like running down Pearl Street with pumpkins on their head, and from afar they look totally.
thought they
it was.
were-
I thought it was the best costume ever because everybody was like, "Oh, here they come! They're doing it!" No, they're just faking everybody out.
So tell us your favorite guilty TV pleasures or favorite things to do while naked. Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that! Sorry.
a can of
I hope they
worms.
don't. It's not by a house. I don't know what they're thinking with that show.
I know, it's nuts. I don't know if I could hack it. I'd be like, no.
If there's a naked cooking show, I'm officially done.
That sounds great.
Okay, we'll see you back here next week.
See you guys.